to Scott Speaks Sports, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back here with my another week of NFL predictions. I'm doing the LA Chargers for my buddy Kyle Hymas over there with Special Olympics USA Games, and I'll be doing the Green Bay Packers predictions for one of my dear friends, Coach Peck, over there at Oviedo Fast Pitch. So let's get into those predictions right now. First game out for the Green Bay Packers. We'll start with them. First game on the road at New Orleans. I have that game as a win. I think Jameis Winston's not going to be ready week one to be a starter in the NFL. So I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers and the Packers to get it done on the road at New Orleans. Next, the home opener for the Green Bay Packers at home against the Lions. I will take the Packers at home. I think the Packers are a much better team than the Lions. Better coached, so I'll take the Packers at home over the Lions. Next up, week 3 on the road at San Francisco. I think that's your first loss of the season. I think the Packers are a good team, but I'm going to take the home team here in this game. I feel like these are two evenly matched teams. So usually when that happens, I usually want to take the home team, so I'll do that. So I'll take the Niners at home to get it done over the Packers. Next up, at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that's a win. I think if this game was in Pittsburgh, I probably would have thought about taking the Steelers. But because it's at home, I will take the Green Bay Packers to get it done at home at Lambeau Field against the Steelers. Next up, week 5 on the road at Cincinnati. I have that game as a win. I think the Bengals are going to be a fun team to watch this year, but they're not going to win a lot of games. I'll take Aaron Rodgers and the Packers to get it done on the road against the Bengals. Next up, week 6 on the road at Chicago. All depends on what quarterback's there at this point. But I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers to get it done on the road at Chicago. I think Andy Dalton will still be the starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears at this point in the season. So I'm going to take the Packers on the road to get it done at Soldier Field against the Bears. Next up, week 7 at home against the Washington football team. I have that game as a win. I just don't trust Ryan Fitzpatrick to put up enough points in this game to keep up with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. So I will take the Packers on the road at home to get it done against the Washington football team. Next up, week 8 on the road at Arizona. I will take the Packers to get it done. I think Green Bay is a better team than Arizona. So I'll take the Packers on the road to get it done at Arizona against the Cardinals. Next up, week 9 at home, on the road at Kansas City. Give me the Chiefs on the road at home. I think the Chiefs are a better team than the Packers are this year. So I will take the Chiefs at home to get it done against the Packers. Next up, week 10 at home against Seattle. I'm going to take the Packers here at home. I think this game's going to be really cold, especially in November in Green Bay. So I'm going to take the Packers at home to get it done against Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Next up, on the road at Minnesota, I have this game as a loss, as a win actually. I think the Vikings are not as good of a team as I thought they would be right now. So I'll take the Packers to get it done on the road to get against the Vikings. Next up, week 12 at home against the Rams. I have this game as a loss. I think Matt Stafford knows how to play in Green Bay, and I think he has a much better team this year. So I'm going to take the Rams to get it done on the road and give the Packers their first home loss of the season here in week 12. Next up, week 14 against the Chicago Bears at home. I think the Packers bounce back, especially after a bye week and after a loss. I'll take Aaron Rodgers and the Packers to get back on track here and get a win at home against Chicago. Next up, week 15 on the road at Baltimore. I have this game as a win. I think the Packers are a very good team this year, and I don't think the Ravens can keep up offensively. So I'm going to take the Packers to get done on the road at Baltimore. Next up, week 16 at home against the Cleveland Browns. There's always one loss in the season where you don't expect it. And I think it's happening right here. So I'm going to take the Browns to get a road win at Green Bay against the Packers. Next up, Week 17 at home against the Minnesota Vikings. I have this game as a win. I think Minnesota's not as good of a team as Green Bay, like I said earlier. So I'll take the Vikings. I'm going to take the Packers at home to get it done against the Vikings. Next up, Week 18 on the road at Detroit. I'm going to take the Packers to get it done on the road at Detroit to get a win here. So that's a 14-3 record for the Green Bay Packers this year. But I think that's good enough for the 2 seed this year, because I think the Packers and the Bucs will be tied with the same record. But I think that they're going to give the tiebreaker to Tampa for some reason. I don't know why, but I think that's what's going to happen. So I think the Packers will get the 2 seed in the NFC and move on to the wild card round. Next, we'll move into my LA Charger predictions from my buddy Kyle Hymas from Special Olympics USA Games. First one out on the road at Washington. I have this game as a win. Like I said earlier, I don't think Ryan Fitzpatrick can keep up offensively with the offense that the Chargers have this year. So I'm going to take the Chargers to get a road win at Washington against the football team. Next up, at home against Dallas. I unfortunately have this game as a loss, and the Cowboys are going to be very motivated to win this game, especially after losing in Week 1, in my opinion, to Tampa. I think they'll be really motivated. They're gonna not want to start 0-2. So I'm going to take the Cowboys at home in their home opener to get it done against the Chargers. Next up, Week 3 on the road at Kansas City. My buddy Kyle said that they're going to sweep the Chiefs this year. That's not happening. I'll take the Chiefs at home at Arrowhead to get it done. It's tough to beat Andy Reid and the Chiefs at Arrowhead in September. So I think that'll happen here. I'm going to take the Chiefs at home over the Chargers. Next up, back at home against the Las Vegas Raiders. I believe this is next up at home against Vegas. I have this game as a win. I think you guys get back on track. I will take the Chargers to get it done at home against the Raiders. Next up, Week 5 at home against Cleveland. I do not think this is a win. I think the Browns are a better team. So I'm going to take the road Browns to get it done here on the road at Cleveland against the Browns. Next up, at Week 6 on the road at Baltimore. Again, not a good enough win here. I'm going to take the Ravens at home to get it done against the Chargers. So that is not a good start for the Chargers at 2-4 as we move into the bye week. So I'm going to take the Ravens at home over the Chargers. Next up, Week 8 on the road at home against New England. Again, I don't think Bill Belichick's going to have that bad of a season after obviously both quarterbacks looked pretty good in preseason. Cam Newton and Mac Jones, I think they both looked very good in preseason. So I'm going to take New England on the road to get it done against the Chargers. Next up, Week 9 on the road at Philly. Here's where your win streak starts. Here's where you start becoming a playoff team. I'll take the Chargers on the road at Philly to get it done against the Eagles. Next up, Week 10 at home against Minnesota. I will take the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to take the Chargers at home. I think the Chargers are a better team than the Vikings. So I'm going to take the Chargers to get it done at home against the Vikings. Next up, at home against Pittsburgh, probably for a playoff spot. Again, I don't trust Big Ben and Pittsburgh's offense to do enough in this game to hang around. So I'm going to take the Chargers at home. It's an East Coast team coming west, and again, I think the offense is not going to be good enough for Pittsburgh to hang around. So I'm going to take the Chargers to get it done on the road at home against the Steelers. Next up, on the road at Denver. I have this game as a win. Again, it's a tough place to play in Mile High the Sunday after Thanksgiving, but I don't think it's going to matter. I'm going to take Justin Herbert and the Chargers to get a win here on the road at Denver and improve their record with another win. Next up, on the road at Cincinnati, I have this game as a win. I think the Bengals are not as good of a team as a lot of people think. I love Joe Burrow. I think he's going to be great. But that offensive line will not protect him as much as they should. So I'm going to take the Chargers on the road to get it done against the Bengals. Next up, at home against the Giants. I have this game as a win as well. The Giants are not as good of a team as my buddy Phil Diaz thinks they're going to be this year. So I'm going to take the Chargers at home to get it done against the Giants. Next up, Week 15 on the road at home against Kansas City. I'm going to take the Chiefs. I think last year you guys got a little lucky beating the Chiefs last year with a lot of their backups in Week 17 of the season. So I'm going to take the Chiefs on the road to get it done against the Chargers. Next up, Week 16 on the road at Houston. I'm going to take the Chargers to get a win here. I think the Chargers are a much better team than the Texans are. Much more well run. So I'm going to take the Chargers to get it done on the road at the Texans. Next up, Week 17 at home against Denver. First game of 2022 for the Chargers. I will take the Broncos at home to get it done against the Broncos here at home. And then Week 18 on the road at Vegas. Probably needing a win to get into the playoffs. And I believe they do make the playoffs. I'm going to take the Chargers to get it done on the road at Vegas to get it done and get themselves into the playoffs with a record of 10-7. I think that is the correct record for the Chargers this year. That will do it for this episode of Scott's Week in Sports. I will be back next week with my final NFL predictions before we get to football on Saturdays in 2 weeks. I'll see you guys right back here next week on Scott's Week in Sports. Enjoy your weekend, and hopefully we can see CM Punk debut tonight on AEW, and I'll see you guys right back here next week on Scott's Week in Sports. See you later, guys.